Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundless success to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth. China blinks in the trade war. Trump issues an ultimatum on Iran. A Biden waiver revoked, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. China said Friday it was weighing starting official talks with the U.S. to halt the trade war, but only if Washington shows sincerity through concrete measures such as by canceling tariffs against Beijing. A Chinese Commerce Ministry spokesperson said China is currently evaluating repeated comments and messages from U.S. officials that express their willingness to negotiate with China on tariffs. China's position is consistent. If you want to fight, we will fight to the end. If you want to talk, our door is wide open, the ministry spokesperson said. If the U.S. wants to talk, it should show sincerity to talk and be prepared to act in correcting its erroneous actions and canceling unilateral tariffs. Tariffs against China were not unilateral, in fact, but rather a response to China's consistent violation of trade agreements. Beijing has imposed 125% levies on American goods in retaliation to President Trump's 145% tariffs on Chinese products. Chinese officials have previously signaled a willingness to negotiate, but not under duress. China's economy is already struggling under the weight of the tariffs. President Trump tapped former National Security Advisor Mike Waltz for his administration's ambassador to the United Nations after Waltz was ousted from the National Security Council office earlier Thursday. I am pleased to announce that I will be nominating Mike Waltz to be the next United States ambassador to the United Nations, Trump posted to Truth Social on Thursday. From his time in uniform on the battlefield, in Congress, and as my national security advisor, Mike Waltz has worked hard to put our nation's interest first. I know he will do the same in his new role. In the interim, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as National Security Advisor while continuing his strong leadership at the State Department. Together, we will continue to fight tirelessly to make America and the world safe again. Thank you for your attention in this matter, the Post read. President Trump said Thursday that any country or person that buys oil or petrochemicals from Iran will not be allowed to do any business with the U.S. U.S. crude oil futures rose $1.03 or 1.77% to close at $59.24 per barrel, while global benchmark Brent gained $1.07 or 1.75% to settle at $62.13. Iran is one of the biggest oil producers in OPEC. Any country or person who buys any amount of oil or petrochemicals from Iran will be subject to immediately secondary sanctions, Trump said in a post on his social media platform Truth Social. They will not be allowed to do business with the United States of America in any way, shape, or form. Trump has implemented what he calls a maximum pressure campaign against Iran since taking office, which aims to completely shut down the Islamic Republic's oil exports. The president has accused Iran of using oil revenue to finance militant groups throughout the Middle East. Secretary of State Marco Rubio revealed during a cabinet meeting that the Biden administration's State Department kept dossiers on Americans accused of serving as, quote, vectors of disinformation, unquote, including a file on an unidentified Trump administration official. We had an office in the Department of State whose job it was to censor Americans, Rubio said during Wednesday's cabinet meeting with President Trump. And by the way, I'm not going to say who it is. I'll leave it up to them. There's at least one person at this table today who had a dossier in that building of social media posts to identify them as purveyors of disinformation. We have these dossiers. We are going to be turning those over to these individuals. Vice President J.D. Vance interjected, asking, was it me or Elon Musk? We can follow up when the media is gone, and drawing laughs from the cabinet. But just think about that. The Department of State of the United States had set up an office to monitor the social media posts and commentary of American citizens to identify them as vectors of disinformation, Rubio continued. When we know that the best way to combat disinformation is freedom of speech and transparency. 35 House Democrats are rebuking the Biden administration's 11th hour waiver that cleared a path for California to enact a full ban on gas cars by 2035. A Republican resolution aimed at repealing the Biden-era Environmental Protection Agency move passed by a 246 to 164 vote on Thursday morning. Notably, 2 California House Democrats were among the 35 who voted to rescind their own state's clean energy waiver, Representatives Lou Correa and George Whitesides. Other Democrats in the number included Representatives Bernie Thompson, Pat Ryan, Tom Suozzi, Jared Moskowitz, Hillary Scholten, and Frank Mervyn. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.